Hey gang, Roby here with the Divi Engine team. And for those of you that have not watched Pete's dev update for Divi 5 yet, pause this video right now, go check it out because Pete gets into the journey and the reality of being a Divi 5 developer. What are the challenges that we face and what are the awesome opportunities brought by Divi 5? It's a great video. Check it out. And if you want to know about what Divi Engine is up to in the future, straight from the boss's mouth, that's going to be handy. So I'll link it up here in the description and maybe up here somewhere you'll see a link for it. But this is what we're going to be talking about today, because at the end of that video, Pete mentions that I'm going to be showing you some of these changes that we've implemented. So for those of you that have already watched that video, I'm going to be diving in here and talk about the new settings framework that we've got, how easy it is to find different settings. I'm going to be taking a look at the Divi Ajax filter and show you all the things that have improved right there, and then get into a little bit about the future and showing some features that will be coming to some of the other plugins that you already love and use today. This is going to be a hands-on tutorial showing you the real tool with the real features, and let's go and check it out. Oh, and if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, definitely do so. And let us know what you think about all this. What are you using these tools for? How are they helping you every day? And what are you most excited about for Divi 5? So let's get into it right now. All right, so as usual, we're getting started here in the dashboard of my WordPress site. And the first thing, as I said, that we're looking at is going to be the settings that you will see if you are utilizing either Ajax Filter for Divi 5 or Divi Loop Extender. Now, if you've got one of these installed with one of our other plugins, you're not going to see that yet because we, of course, don't want any conflicts or strange things happening to your sites. So as we roll out the Divi 5 versions of our plugins, we will gradually start adding the new framework, but it's faster, it is more robust, and it definitely gets the things that you need faster. So I am just going to go here to the Divi Engine link in the menu, which is very nice and easy to do. And then you'll see this is what the new settings pages look like. We're not going to be spamming you with a bunch of sidebar notices and stuff like that, but maybe once in a while, if we've got a sale on, we're going to be mentioning that here to make sure if you can get an early renewal at a discount, whatnot, you can do so. Now, some of the biggest changes you're going to be noticing is that we have employed a React-based framework here, and you can just go directly access all these links here that we've added. You can open up a ticket, you can check out the documentation, all that fun stuff. And all the plugin specific settings are going to be living up in this top bar. So if you've got Divi Ajax Filter and Loop Extender installed, you're going to see them as tabs up here. Now, when I go to the Divi Ajax Filter settings, you'll see that we've moved the transient caching setting, for example, out of the Divi theme options and into here, as well as these WooCommerce settings. It's just a cleaner way of doing things. The licensing you'll also see is all on one tab over here. Now, let's say you're looking for a setting and you can't find it, or maybe you're trying to do something and you want to see if there's documentation on it. This is the most exciting update, and by far my favorite, is the fact that you can actually search the documentation, but also the settings. So if I go transient, for example, it's going to be pulling up all the different documentations on it. But here, you see when it's got the little gear next to it, that means that that's an actual setting. So if I click on that, it takes me straight to the setting in the plugin. Now you can imagine Divi Ajax Filter is a little bit of a smaller tool, but when you extend this to something that's a bigger plugin like Divi BodyCommerce that's got hundreds and hundreds of different settings, this is going to make your life a lot easier. Now, also for the documentation, you can go ahead and search, let's say, loop builder. And there we can go and click on that. And then it takes us right to the documentation for using Divi Ajax Filter with the loop builder. It's super easy to do. We've been working hard on the documentation to make sure that we've got Divi 4 and Divi 5 versions available for you. So when you think about it, it's not just about recoding the plugins, it's also about redoing all the documentation so that it's most useful to you. But let me close that out for right now and get back into the good stuff. So this is kind of an overview of what you can expect from the new settings framework. We've even got a light mode and a dark mode, which I really enjoy also. I prefer dark mode, but maybe you like light mode, who knows? And that is that. So this is the new settings framework designed to be better, faster, and I know you guys have been patient going through numerous iterations of our settings frameworks. This is the last one. This is the one we believe in, and it's just here to make your life easier. So that is the settings framework. So let's get into some of the more technical details with the actual plugins and show you what has been improved there. Okay, so here I've got just a normal layout. I've got a simple filter module on here, and then I've got my archive loop module all running in Divi 5. I mentioned, and Pete mentioned, that there are a few upgrades that you can expect, and there sure are. You know, and this is a big thing that Pete talked about, is about not only converting our plugins, but improving them as we go. And as Pete had mentioned, we switched over to a REST API for the filtering and all that fun stuff to just make our filters snappier and better and faster. And that's going to carry through to any of our filters. So in BodyCommerce, machine, and so forth. Now, what I want to show you is that now when you actually go ahead and add a archive loop module to the page for the first time, this pop-up is going to come up. Now, what this does, it helps you set our loop templates very easily and quickly with a preset setting. I can, for example, go and say blog grid. And if I wanted to, I can select the query. Now, what does the query part of this do? It just determines what posts are displayed in your archive loop module. Now, you know, products, of course, not going to be necessary, but I'm just going to go ahead and click on no query template. And then you'll see it do a little bit of thinking here. And then it comes out with a preset layout. So you don't have to style this loop template over here. What this does, it loads up some existing settings for it. Now, if you close it out and you don't know what it is, you want to go back to it at some point, and you want to play around, what you got to do is go to choose templates. And let's say maybe you select the image gallery version. I'm still not going to select a query template. And then it's going to go and show you the gallery version. Now, you're not stuck with the settings that are in there. Like I said, this is just a bunch of settings that load in. So if I wanted to make the words 5 that show on the excerpt, I can have it be so. Or if I wanted to go change the design, all that fun stuff, you are free to go do all that fun activities. Now, another thing that we added here is we actually added another loop template for you to use, is the minimal list view, because sometimes you don't want your posts to be in a grid. Maybe you just want it to be in a simple list, or maybe your products. And then this is another way that you can do it. You can see that the background here is not gelling very nicely with it, but that's why you can just go to the design settings. You would go to your loop template settings, and then you can just go ahead and, of course, use a color that gels with your brand. So simple as that. Very cool that it's in there. Really makes the user experience a lot easier. And yeah, it's in there now. And another fun thing, and I'll talk about this a little bit more later, is that we're going to be extending this to our other plugins that utilize our archive loop or product loop or that type of thing. Pete talked a lot about unifying the architecture and making things easier. This is that at work right now, making life easier for you as a user. So there we go. Okay, so now maybe you want to not use the archive loop module and you've got an idea in your head of what you want this stuff to look like. We gotcha, because Divi Ajax Filter, and this is part of that integrating with Divi deeper, because we're going to be integrating with a lot more tools with our plugins, like extending our custom field support and stuff like that. We have fully integrated with the loop builder in Divi 5. So how can I go ahead and utilize that? Well, I am going to go here. Okay, so we'll just start over right here. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a regular column layout with a sidebar here. And I'm just going to use this one. I'll add my filter module. That's all dandy. And maybe I'll make it a little bit smaller still, give it a little bit more breathing room. And then I am going to simply add, if I can get to the settings here, add one filter field just so that we can see this. I'm going to say cats for categories. And I'm going to go back here to the main options, and we'll be filtering posts. We'll be doing it on change, and that should be good enough for now. And then what we do on this side, we're actually going to add another row with 3 columns in it. We're only going to be working with the first column, so we're just going to be adding a image module. There we go. And then the second one's going to be a heading module. There we go. And now we want to go on this first column, and we're going to say, okay, I'm going to loop the first column. It's going to do all this crazy stuff, but we can fix that real quick by going to design settings on the row, go on the layout, and then just adding wrapping, and you'll see it kind of like populate all the way through there. Now, as you know, we just need to wire up our image here, and we'll just use the dynamic data, and we'll do featured image. Same thing for the title, and we will do post title, and you can see it kind of come together. I'm just going to make that heading font a little bit smaller so we can actually see what we're doing. And there we go. Okay, so now we've got everything working in concept. And we can even go ahead and maybe look at the loop settings just on this row here. And you can see the post type, posts, and all that fun stuff. One thing that you'll notice is that all these extra settings added by Divi Loop Extender, if you're using that plugin, is now also available in Ajax Filter. So again, it's that cohesive one code base, adding features, cross-pollinating those features so that you don't need to use extra or multiple plugins on a site and only purchase one if you only need one. We want what's best for you guys. Okay, so another enhancement I wanted to show you is that in the Ajax filters, you are probably familiar with the filter parameters that you can show. And you get there just by going to the layout options on the filter post item. And then you can just go here on filter parameters and you can say, okay, well, show it with the title, right? And per usual, it just shows up above your archive loop or your loop builder template. And we have added something there for you. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add a group module here. And I'm going to go not add anything in it, but I'm going to add something to it. I'm going to go on that group. I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to add a class to it. So here under class, I'll just give it a name, silly class, and then I will just say para target. Why not? And copy that out. And now I'll go back here on my layout for the filter. And inside of the layout settings on the actual filter post module, you can set a filter parameter container. So I already have para target as a class. You do have to add the dot. That's important. And then I can just go ahead and save it up. And we've got our old layout here. I'll refresh the page really quickly, reset, and it kind of gave you a sneak peek there. But if I go and search Divi Engine, it adds it right there immediately in that box. So now you can move that anywhere. I'm going to refresh it from scratch again. And if I say WooCommerce, it goes ahead and filters everything out. So that's a really great addition and enhancement. So wherever you want those to be, that you can place them where you want. So good stuff. And there's more good stuff coming. Now, I mentioned a bit about Divi Loop Extender and a lot of the features it brings. And if I hop over here to my Divi Loop Extender demo I've got, and if you haven't checked out this video yet, I built out this editorial dashboard using Divi Loop Extender with all sorts of conditional logic and fun stuff. Anyway, that's not this video, but I'll link it for you. Now, when you go into the different loop settings, now I need to go find what I'm looping here. And it's going to be this group carousel, and inside of there is going to be this slide. And you can see that I'm looping this slide here. You have, as I showed you in Divi Ajax Filter, you've got all these different order by options. And then at the bottom here, you can filter by, post status, by the type of relationship this post has. So if you want to display posts that relate to a specific author on a single post page or something like that, you can go ahead and do that. And Divi Loop Extender allows you to do that. Now, why am I telling you this? You already know about this. Well, the cool thing is that all this stuff is coming to our other plugins that utilize the loop. So that would be your BodyCommerce, that would be your Divi Machine. So as we roll out the Divi 5 versions, you're going to be having access to all of these amazing features, and we're going to continue expanding on them. So the goal here is not to just slap a sticker on it and call it a Divi 5 version. It's really to enhance everything that we're doing, and that is the good stuff. Now, let's talk a bit about what's coming next. Okay, here I am, I'm back. So, what's coming next? Right now, we are working on Divi Form Builder for Divi 5, and that is making some really good headway and progress. And that will be the next Divi 5 plugin that we release. Pete mentioned this in his video also. We're also hard at work on Divi Machine at the same time. So it's not just that we're working on one product, we're working at multiple at the same time to try and get this done as quickly as possible, but as responsibly as possible. Divi 5 is a moving target, and so many times, and if you watch Pete's video, we have had to redo stuff because Divi changes the way that they do stuff, and they bring out bugs, and we think, okay, well, maybe it's our code, we need to go fix it. So there's a lot of stuff and nuances with that. That said, we are absolutely committed to the backwards compatibility in Divi 5, as that is also still evolving. We want to make sure that you guys get the best experience using the Divi 4 version of our plugins and Divi 5. So we need your help, that if you are using the Divi 4 version with Divi 5, to contact us and work with support so that we can fix those bugs, while we wait for Elegant Themes to kind of iron out all the kinks with the backwards compatibility. But we are super committed to it, so we want to make sure that our tools are working flawlessly. So that's been a lot of information about Divi Engine, our products, and all the things that are changing, Divi 5, and all that. But it is exciting news. It is good news. We are heading in such a cool direction, and I can't wait to see what's next. I'm super stoked on Divi 5 and what it's going to bring for us. Now, I'd love for you guys to start using the Divi 5 version of Ajax Filter, use Divi Loop Extender, and even use our existing products using the backwards compatibility mode. And I've also added a bunch of new Divi 5 layouts for you to download. If you haven't checked them out yet, check out layouts.diviengine.com. And we will be continuously adding layouts there that utilizes the unique architecture of Divi 5. Definitely like and subscribe to the channel, to Divi Engine. Go buy our plugins. They're awesome. They're only going to get more awesome and all that fun stuff. But guys, this has been Roby with the Divi Engine team. Excited for what's next in Divi. So I'm going to catch you in the next video real soon. Bye for now.